Okay, so let's get on with the questions from the floor. The first one that I'm going to ask is, so Dan, how can a culture of efficiency and cost savings be best created within the following groups? You don't have to answer about each one, I'll just give you an example. The senior management team, the frontline staff, contract companies, and private enterprise. So how can a culture of efficiency and cost savings be best created within those groups?
I think, well, thank you. Well, I think the best way to get efficiencies is through cooperation. I think Mr. Bravo and I have both alluded to the fact, I'm not speaking for him, that we've got to get out of a silo type system. We've got to get into a collaborative system where all the departments work together to do the best they can. And I think the result of that, as I've proven in all my years at the food bank, we started with like $67,000 a year. Now we help like all the people all through the community. It's just cooperation and being willing to listen. You may not agree, but being willing to listen and hear what the person has to say. Thank you very much.
Joe?
Thank you, Jerry. I guess I don't have my glasses to talk, but anyways, I want to reiterate what I said earlier about the silos, and as much as there's been efforts to change that, there's a far way to go. And the very attitude among some departments when you call them about picking up a bag of garbage on the side of the road or properly patching potholes is, well, that's not my job, or that's not my department, and that has to change. And that quite frankly is how you how you make efficiencies. And it is about cooperation. It's about everybody working together. It's a huge ship. I mean, the city is a huge ship. It's not the days of the town of Walden or the community of Coppercliff anymore. It's a huge ship, and you don't turn that overnight. You do that by working together and continuing to foster that relationship of working together, and that's the long and short of it. I don't think there's any secret to it. 80% of the employees in the city are great employees. 20% probably need some work, and they have to be addressed. And quite frankly, I don't do it on camera because that's not the way to do it. You do it behind closed doors.
Yeah, it's a huge ship, all right. He seems to be a sinking ship too. It's true, and I'm not joking. But yes, like Dan said, you know, cooperation. Cooperation is a big thing, and like I said, you know, like I said, I'm not against city workers at all. I hope we keep all our city workers. I want to keep all our city workers. The one thing though is like Jacques said, you know, it's like, you know, one person picking up a garbage and yet there's something else right next to that can be done also, but you're going to wait for the next person. Well, that's the same thing what I just said about the light bulb. You know, they're going to wait for 2 hours for someone to come and fix a light bulb. You know, and the worker right there can fix it, for crying out loud. So, you know, it's and the thing is, and I'm not against unions, but because unions do protect people. But when unions start, because at one time, I understand the history of unions.
Thank you. The history of unions. 20 years ago. As you know, the city-owned property at the corner of 6th Avenue and Main Street in Lively is for sale. This property currently houses a park, tennis court, former ice rink, and a field house. This field house is the current venue for the Lively Food Bank. If this land sells, do you have any plans to support the food bank in finding a suitable, accessible, and affordable new venue?
Great question, absolutely 100%. So we'll clarify that, first off, that property is not for sale as of yet. There's been a sign up there asking people's opinions, and it's been a very transparent process from the start. I'm working with the Walden Can, the Walden Lions, and a number of other groups to look at opportunities to possibly sell that property and further develop another property. And that unfortunately, friends, is the way that you have to develop properties. You have to sell something to make something else better. As far as the food bank, I'm 100% behind the food bank. I've been speaking to Bev Vanderjack. In fact, we have a meeting this Sunday to discuss that. They would never be put out in the cold. We would find a home for the food bank, 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's another thing, selling city property. That's again, I can add that into the city's 101 big mistakes. Because, you know, first of all, buying new property costs the taxpayers more money than having the property that's already there. And to, like I said, upkeep services, you know, depending on what they want to do with the property, upkeep services is a lot cheaper than, again, buying more property and building new buildings and all that. Seriously, it's to me, it's like the city loves to waste money. They love to waste taxpayers' money. Like it's like they have a lot of money trees and a barn of geese that, you know, lay golden eggs, which isn't true. You know, like the money comes from the taxpayers. And so, like, just deciding, okay, well, we're going to get rid of this property, we're going to get rid of that property, we're going to get rid of that property, we're going to replace it with other property that we're going to spend more of your money on, it's not right.
Thank you.
They probably could have given Joe an extra 30 seconds on this because my answer is obvious, whether I'm the councillor or not. Of course, as one of my member agencies being involved in food banks, so that's pretty clear right there. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question, again, from the floor, transparency. What are the candidates' positions, number one, on a permanent auditor general, or number two, on the provincial ombudsman? So transparency is, the questions deal with transparency, so what are the candidates' positions on permanent auditor general and provincial ombudsman? Joseph?
First of all, I know that the city thinks it's a great idea to hire someone else to look at our books. There's an old saying, you never bite the hand that feeds you. And technically, when the city hires somebody, sooner or later they're going to come up with a brilliant idea of having a closed meeting, if not with this council or the next council, block the people out and then say, hey, you know what, let's see what we can do to put this person under our control so that we can do what we want with your money. Technically, no, the Ontario Ombudsman, he is not held to the city under the city's link chain, you know, like you know, I control you. He's completely neutral from the city, and he is the best person to look into to see if the city is doing the right job with your money. And that's why he's there. That's why the Ontario government created that job. And you know, like he's in for us to pay for someone else. Again, it's a waste of taxpayer dollars.
Thank you. Ben?
Thank you. There's been a lot of talk about inefficiencies. Let's put it down to the brass tacks. Chair ombudsman is paid by the government, doesn't cost us a cent. This new company does. There you go. Obviously, what's better for us is the ombudsman. Thank you.
We all know the old adage, there's no such thing as a free lunch, and quite frankly, although the ombudsman is not paid by the city, he's been paid by your provincial dollars. We're not paid twice. Do I agree with the ombudsman or the position? Absolutely, 100%. Do I agree with Andre Marin? Absolutely not, and that's why I voted to get rid of him, and I wouldn't shy away from anybody. I'll tell them that right to their face. Andre Marin comes to Sudbury, does an investigation, do your job, write your report, you get lost. Don't give us all the nonsense after it. Unprofessional nonsense. That's why I didn't support him. Do I support the position? Absolutely. Internal audit position, whether it's a full-time auditor general or not, that still needs to be discussed. Whether our city is big enough to hire a full-time auditor general, I still can't wrap my head around that one. But internal audit to help our staff, absolutely.
Thank you very much. We have opinion questions. I love opinion questions. What is your opinion on the Healthy Family Fund? Healthy Initiative Fund. Okay, it's not Healthy Family. Healthy Initiative. Well, you know, I think Mr. Chimino is going to rue the day he called it a slush fund, because it's not a slush fund. It's a very important fund. However, what is your opinion on the Healthy Initiative Fund, which is the fund to be used at the discretion of the councillor? Should it continue or be terminated by the new administration? And we're going to Joseph first.
Obviously, it should be terminated, and there's a whole bunch of reasons why I can't even explain. One, a councillor, any councillor that can use city money to give to whoever they please, any charity or any organization to help, okay? One, he's benefiting off that by making himself look good, you know? And it's almost like saying, okay, this is what I've done for you. No, that's city money. And two, how do you know it's not going to be used in a scenario where it's I scratch your back, you scratch mine, you know, like we're going to work something out. So, and that money being misused. No, that fund should be, it should be scrapped. The $50,000 to each ward should be given to the city, should be given by the city to each ward directly from the city, not from a councillor, so that they can use it and manipulate it for anything they please. I disagree with that.
Thank you.
All right. First off, there's been a lot of talk about the Healthy Community Initiative. I have a report here. You can all get it. It's on the city website of where the councillors spend their money. And really, as a citizen of this ward, I don't really have any issues with where this money's been spent. It's been spent on community, civil engagement, economic growth, natural environment, human health. Who doesn't want that in the community? Where the problem has come from is the perception. And I get, and indirectly, Mr. Chimino is responsible for that. That is the perception. Here's how I propose to fix it. I talked earlier about participatory budgeting. That would be where you people, we would still come forward to as $50,000, but you people, we would hold groups and make presentations of all the things we want. We would make a vote on it, and then the items that are chosen by your group, you folks, to be done in this community, would be done for the Healthy Community Initiative. That's what I think is the answer here. Thank you very much.
You trust me with a $500 million budget, but you don't trust me with $50,000. That's rather interesting. Let's pick away at that small stuff. The Healthy Community Initiative Fund is one that I really support, and it's one that it's taken a lot of heat, and quite frankly,